Just a few moments. All right, Neil, you are clear to begin whenever you'd like.
Good evening. Welcome to the February 7th, 2023 meeting of the CB6 Environment and Parks Committee. My name is Neil Barkley and I'm the chair of the committee. Tonight, we are joined by District Manager Jesus Perez. This meeting is called to order at 7:05 p.m. As a reminder, New York State law now requires all community board members to have their cameras on and their first and last names displayed from the time the meeting is called to order until the meeting is adjourned. If your camera is not on and your name not properly displayed, you cannot count towards quorum. Members of the public, you can raise any questions or comments that you have through the Q&A feature of Zoom. If there is time following the committee's discussion, we will field questions from the public. Tonight, Reshma Patel was kind enough to sign up to write the meeting, to do the minutes. So thank you, Reshma. Everyone should have received an email from the board office with a link to a doodle sign-up sheet for minute takers at your committee meetings in 2023. For your convenience, the link to the sign-up sheet is being posted in the chat right now. We will now take attendance by roll call. Jesus, will you conduct the roll call?
Yes, I will. Just give me 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. I just had a few too many things on my plate. We will now take attendance by roll call. I will call your name and you will unmute yourselves when your name is called. Please say present. I will announce if there is quorum. Neil Barkley.
Present.
All right. Martin Barrett.
Present.
Thank you. Claire Brennan. I see you muted, Claire. Say that again, I'm sorry. I didn't hear that. Okay, well, she may be having some audio issues, but let the record show that Claire Brennan is present with her camera on. Her lips are moving, just no sound is coming out. Anton Molnar. Is it just me or did I not hear Anton?
I think that was an unmute after the present.
All right, Anton Molnar.
Present.
There we go. Okay, I was getting worried. Raj Nair.
Present.
Thank you. Reshma Patel.
Present.
Thank you. Anne Seligman.
Present.
Thank you. Letty Simon.
Present.
Right. Thank you. But camera staying off tonight?
Yeah, I'm on my cell phone and it's
Okay.
very difficult.
Okay. Dean Stepanides.
I'm here, but I can't get my video started. I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay, well, work on it and let us know.
I'm on my cell phone too. I'm working on it. Okay.
Mark Thompson.
Present and visible. Sorry about that.
No, thank you. Mara Wong.
Present.
Thank you. With 10 of 12 members present and visible, per state law, we do have quorum. And Neil, you are muted.
Well, I wanted to be like everyone else. I figured I would just talk. No one could hear me. But thank you, Jesus. The agenda for tonight's meeting was distributed ahead of time by the board office and appears on the screen before you. If there is no objection, we will adopt the agenda as stated. Members of the committee, if you object to adopting the agenda, you may raise your hand through Zoom. So seeing no objections, the agenda for tonight's meeting is adopted.
Neil Ann Seligman, committee member, requests the floor.
All right. Yes, Ann.
Yeah, I just, the last time I looked at this agenda, I guess these were not all one item. They were multiple items. I don't know that that matters.
It
I-
does-
I'm sorry.
They
Jesus?
seem really different. Like they seem really different things. So,
Well, they were all under number one, correct, Jesus? I believe that's the format that we had.
Yes, I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, Ann. The office has never posted anything other than this. Whatever's publicly posted is what the official agenda is.
okay, I guess my brain just separated them because they seemed like such different things. And here
Okay.
I am being a new member and already making trouble. Neil will regret my membership.
All right. No, it's okay, Ann. But thank you for telling us about that. No, same thing. Same thing. That's the one that we have on the site. So, okay. Seeing no objections, just one comment. We'll say 1 second, go up here. So the minutes from the March and September 2022 committee meetings were distributed ahead of time. If there is no objection, we will adopt these minutes as drafted. Members of the committee, if you object to adopting these minutes, you may raise your hand through Zoom. All right, seeing no objections, the minutes from the March and September 22 committee meetings are adopted and will soon be available on the CB6 website. Now, Jesus, just a quick question, right? Because with Ann's question, did I officially get the agenda in there, or did I not?
The agenda has been adopted.
Okay. Right.
That's what you're asking. The agenda.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I kind of got lost in a place here.
I will say, Neil,
yes.
you made a sort of last minute suggestion to add something about talking to the committee about parks that they may have on their mind and any issues that may arise at those parks.
Yes.
That did not make it in there, given the timing, but if you want to raise that in like new business or something, we can slip it in since it wasn't like amended in. But
Okay, so I couldn't discuss it in the agenda then. So
what I would suggest is bring it up in new business.
okay. All right. So let's just set some ground rules then. In order to conduct an efficient meeting, let's observe a few ground rules. 1, no one may speak until granted the floor. 2, committee members, if you have a question about committee business or wish to make a motion, please raise your hand through Zoom. 3, the chat function should not be used for committee business or questions about agenda topics. All such remarks should be made on the record by raising your hand through Zoom. Chat should only be used to alert us to any technical difficulties you are having or to state in writing information like an email address that was already stated aloud on the record during the meeting. Number 4, when a committee member is given the floor to speak, I will identify you and you can unmute yourself so that you can speak. Number 5, committee members are required by the state open meetings law to have their Zoom cameras on and your first and last name displayed during tonight's entire meeting, from call to order to adjournment. If you must step away from your computer briefly, you are required to leave your camera on.
Neil, if I can interject, please let the record show Dean Stepanides has resolved his camera issues. So his camera is on per state law. So he is now part of quorum, 11 of 12 members present and visible.
All right, perfect. Thank you. So going to tonight's agenda, as Jesus has stated, I wanted to have a discussion about just the parks in general, but we can get to that in the chair's report. But just one thing I wanted to say, I wanted to thank everyone for taking a couple minutes out and having a call with me or sending an email over and welcoming me to the committee. And I look forward to working with everyone. I just wanted to say is, thanking everyone. When we did have the call, I did make a list of names as well as the parks that everyone liked. So just so you know, I was listening and paying attention, and just the list that I have. Anne, I believe yours is Dag Hammarskjöld. Is that correct? All right, that's correct. Claire, I have Stuyvesant Town Square.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Okay.
But it's Stuyvesant Square Park. But
Okay. All right. I'll make a note there. I guess I didn't listen closely enough, right? Anton's have Sutton Place Park, and then Letty Sutton Place Park, Marty Sutton Place Park, Maura.
Also Stuyvesant Cove Park.
All right.
I'm president of the Stuyvesant Cove Park Association.
Okay. I'll make a note. Thank you. Maura with Augustus St. Gaudens, Stuyvesant and Petersfield, Freshma, Tudor City Gardens, Page, Tudor City Greens, and Robert Moses, and Mark with Stuyvesant Square. Okay. Well, we can move on to the agenda and then we'll go from there. All right. Starting
No,
off.
you didn't tell us yours.
Well, I like all of them. I don't have one, in particular. So I don't know. I mean, Stuyvesant Square is nice. St. Barton's nice. Sutton Place. So yeah, we have a ton of great parks, places in the district. So yeah, hopefully we can work on those and see where we can make improvements. But all right, jumping back to number one. Oh, and I just wanted to state, I know we'll get to this with the chair's report. So I know that the agenda has a lot of different items about the environment, but I also wanted to be clear that this is a parks committee, so nothing has changed there. We're still focusing on parks, but also anything related to the environment or climate, it is in our remit. So that's why those things are in the agenda. And I also would like to look at some things related to the environment, but still a parks committee. All right, so we'll get started. Litter baskets.
Member Martin Barrett requests the floor.
Yes, I'm sorry, I have to set this up. Yes, Martin?
Yeah, historically, the name of the committee was Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs. So it's broader. The base of it is broader than just parks, and environment. The environment was added, I guess, 3 years ago as part of this function. But like theaters in our district, as cultural affairs or other things in that vein would also be under this rubric. Libraries, yes. Correct.
Oh, that's great to know. Thank you for sharing. So I
Laura
will-
Wong requests the floor.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I have the two screens here, but yes, go ahead, Mara. Sorry about that.
Yep, just quickly too, I believe too, our committee also looks at issues of preservation, not often, but it's happened. So we should be open and ready to discuss anything related to that as well.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. I'll get started then on the agenda. The first item is new litter baskets, and Jesus, could you share the photo of the latest model of the litter baskets from the Department of Sanitation?
Yes, I will pull that up right now.
All right, awesome. So I would like to obtain new litter baskets for the district. We currently have some, but they're quite old and they have plenty of problems. We have some that blow over. We have other ones that the doors usually are not closed correctly, which invites rodents. And the current one that Jesus is sharing right now, some of the improvements is that it's supposed to have an anchor. You can see all the way at the bottom there. And also the bisected lid, which is there to keep residential and thank you, Jesus. Residential and commercial waste. So that's definitely improvements. I spoke to our contact with sanitation, Marissa Yanni. She's a community affairs liaison. And I asked her about the litter baskets, which is a part of the Better Bin program. I wanted to know when we could have some in the district. And she said that we would receive some of these, but she did not know when. And I spoke to Jesus, and we plan to reach out to the offices of council members Powers and Rivera to see if we could, I guess, expedite the arrival of the new litter baskets to our district. And I will keep everyone apprised of the progress on this. But I do ask if anyone sees any locations in the district that you think we need, one, new litter baskets, or two, a litter basket in general, please let me know. Is there any comments?
Do the maintenance cost more?
No, I haven't even gotten to that part. I mean, I've just, but I'll make a note. Maintenance. Okay. Anne?
Yeah, so I was just wondering, is the bifurcation is one of those like, sort of just like garbage versus like trash versus like compost versus recycle? Is there, I can't really.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a trash. There, it isn't trash recycling.
So what's the,
it's-
like, what's the difference between like what's on the street right now?
Well, it has
Like,
the
why is
anchor.
it bifurcated?
One, it has the nice, beautiful anchor all the way at the bottom, and so that should prevent the litter baskets from tipping over when it's very windy, or I mean, I didn't want to say if someone kicks it over, but the
Right.
anchor should keep it in place. As for why it's bisected, it's to keep residential, garbage or trash out. Commercial trash, sometimes if you walk past, you'll see, anything in there, huge
So-
boxes that clearly are not supposed to be in there. Yes.
But this is just trash, like these are gonna be like litter bins that are just on the street.
Just on the street. Yes.
So the idea is just to make the hole smaller so that people can't put like bags of stuff in there. I'm just
Um,
trying to understand, like, I'm sorry, I feel bad about pushing back on this, but I'm just trying to understand like kind of the point of.
Well, we have plenty of time. We can discuss this more. We could take this offline because how it is right now, we have no time frame of when exactly this will arrive. But yeah, let's discuss this. If you have questions, I'm definitely open to take it
Like,
offline.
I feel like
and
if I
chat.
walked up to this, I would feel like, oh, what am I supposed to put where? And I'm confused. So,
Well,
and otherwise, like, and if you, like, if we're trying to keep people from putting bags of stuff in there, they're just gonna throw it on the street and that's gonna be worse, so. But I'll stop talking.
no problem. Thanks, Ann. Let's see. Anton, you already You already spoke, or do you have another?
Yeah, I have a couple of comments. One, I don't think it's so much as the distribution of the garbage cans. Of course, we could always use more. What I think the issue is the timing of the pickup of the garbage. There's more than a few times I've walked down the street and I see block after block, the garbage cans we have on the corners are overfilled. Stuff is flowing onto the street and sidewalk. And where's the sanitation department?
That's a good question, and I also wanted to ask the committee, from time to time, would it be beneficial if we had a representative from sanitation to join our meeting? I think Marty's in, so Marty, you're next. I think you're on mute.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say, why don't we put this on for a discussion, inviting somebody from the Department of Sanitation, and also maybe somebody from the Doe Fund. Who they have their own garbage cans, and I don't know if they empty the other garbage cans, but they certainly have a lot of experience in that. So we could have a little forum.
Okay, that's
Panel.
noted.
Are
Mara,
do we have these garbage cans on 50th Street? I think we do already.
there are some that are similar.
Yeah.
I think the hole is, I guess, more narrow. It's not as
Right.
wide, and it's not bisected like this, but they do look very similar. Yes.
And they work well. I don't see garbage along the side of it at all. I think they look nice and they do the job.
Mara, thank you, Dean.
Yeah,
Sure.
I was just going to ask if Jesus could put the link to this article in the chat. I think that this actually answers a lot of Anne's concerns. If she reads the article, or we all read the article, it should hopefully clarify why this design and what it's doing.
Oh, it looks like Reshma may have beat me to it. Reshma just put it in the chat.
Awesome. But yeah, this
And I'll
link
put it in,
explains
actually,
it.
I'll send it one more time for everyone. So even folks watching at home can see this. Yes, I believe this link also was sent around to the committee in advance of this meeting.
Mhm.
Letty,
I just wanted to say that I believe the Doe Fund is a nonprofit organization, and they work on contract. They don't just pick up and put baskets indiscriminately. They're on contract. So you have to pay for their services.
okay, that's noted. Okay, so we can then, if there are no other questions or comments, we can go on to containerization. The city currently has a containerization pilot program, which is called Clean Curbs Residential Pilot. I also spoke to our contact with Department of Sanitation, Marissa, about this as well, and I expressed our interest in our district participating in this pilot program. So unfortunately, at this time with the program, it's only being tested on one block in Hell's Kitchen. Now, if the program is to expand and the opportunity were to present itself, I would hope that we could participate. And I let the Department of Sanitation know that. Hey, Jesus, could you share the photo of one of the containers?
From that article?
Yeah,
yes.
the first one's good.
I can share. This article was also sent to the committee in advance, but I can also link to it in the chat.
Thank you. So that's those are the containers right now that are being tested. And also, I would note there are containers that are similar to those, but not exactly like those in Times Square that the mayor, there was a press conference where the mayor introduced them. Councilmember Powers also attended the press conference, but these are the containers for residential areas. Any comments on this? No? Mara?
I just have a question. I didn't see this anywhere in what was sent around, but I see that these containers are meant to go in the street rather than blocking the sidewalk, which sounds great, except for avenues where there are bike lanes or streets where there are bike lanes. Has there been any discussion about what happens in those areas?
So I think in the article, there are a couple points about why they're located or why the street was chosen. I mean, obviously more space on the sidewalk, as you've said. But I don't know about the bike lane part. You know, honestly, it doesn't seem like there was too much information out there. You know, it felt like they were putting it there just to see what would happen. I know a big focus was rats, you know, keeping rats off the streets, out of the trash. But I mean, those are all, you know, good questions. I guess if it were to expand, that's definitely something that we could discuss more.
I'd almost rather have the rats than that big thing for my building.
Are you sure?
That is like the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, we could paint it, you know, we
Yeah.
can, you know, do some graffiti art on there. That's
Right.
an option as well. So
I'm
when
sure that'll happen automatically.
yeah. Let's see. Yes, Anne.
So the other pushback that will come, I say, as having been many years on Transportation Committee, is loss of parking spots is not a popular thing. So something that we should keep in mind when we, you know, as we think about introducing these in our neighborhood.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely noted. If we'll have to see if we're given a chance to participate, but yeah, that's definitely an issue that could come up because there will be less space where cars would be. Okay, is that all? Anyone else? No? Okay. So I will move on to a climate plan for our district. And just to start this off, would anyone like to share their thoughts about this? About a climate plan for the district? All right, no comments, no thoughts. So I can get into some of my notes here. So I would like to draft a climate plan for our district. Councilmember Lincoln Ressler, he has put one together for his district in Brooklyn. It's a very good primer. Brandon, he sent this out, so everyone should have this. And there are just a few points. Well, there are 5 points in the plan that the council member lays out. 1, reducing buildings emissions. 2, reimagining our streets. 3, green spaces and green infrastructure in our district. 4, waste issues in our district. 5, making the district more resilient. Just a few things here. Reducing building emissions. This is something that I have started to look into. I know just based on the council members' draft, schools, a lot of our schools here in New York are very old and they rely heavily on gas for their heating. I'd like to learn if it's possible to place solar panels on the roofs of schools. So I also know that my understanding is that the Land Use and Waterfront Committee, they looked into the topic of placing solar panels on buildings in general in our district. And that's something I'm going to take the lead on that about reducing building emissions. Also, as the council member notes, reimagining our streets to reduce emissions. I know Claire has been kind enough to say that she would help us out with that. And I think because of Claire's strong background and, with the city and her focus on making streets more accessible for bikes, I think that would be great. So thanks, Claire. Let's see. So the other ones on there that green spaces, green infrastructure, waste issues, making the district more resilient. Are those things that anyone would be interested in working on or taking the lead? Sorry, yes, Reshma?
Wanted to just bring up that one of the things that we do have in a budget request is funding from the city for a climate plan specifically for the Community Board 6 area. And that's something that came out of land use. So I think just to tie back in with that committee.
Okay, that's a good point. Anne?
Yeah, I have to say, I'm not, a couple of different things. One is I did some work last year with a couple of other folks about kind of excessive remediation for excessive rainfall and some kind of resiliency things that we could do. This was kind of around Ida. And so I think the board office has, there was a Google Doc that it's been shared around, but I don't, like, I certainly have it, and whoever wants to work on kind of that piece of it, because that's obviously flooding is a really important issue for our district. I will also say I'm not really excited about the idea of taking a lead on any one piece of it, but I would be delighted to be the person that kind of pulls it all together. And I'm happy to edit any one piece, and I'm happy to try and make it a kind of coherent thread where we're trying to kind of avoid duplication, but make sure that we're, it's almost like a climate 197, right? So, and since I have a lot of experience on both land use and transportation, where there's going to be a lot of overlap, I think I can probably help with that.
Yeah, well, yes, Anne, as we had discussed, yes, thank you so much for taking that on. And I will also look at what, as Reshma stated, about land use. I'm going to see what their request was and speak to them. And maybe there are things that we can use from there and build upon so we don't reinvent the wheel. Let's see. So ultimately, putting a plan together, addressing things related to climate in our district, I think it's very important. And I would also say that I think once we get the plan together, we could then pass resolutions urging city council, urging the mayor to sign, to pass and then sign legislation that would address our concerns or our suggestions that we would put in the plan. Brendan, he also sent a link from the city council from a press release, and there are various topics of paragraphs that go through some of, I guess, some of the ideas that the city council has of improving or I guess addressing climate issues as well as the environment. One was, we'll say, universal composting, which I believe the mayor signed last week. And so I believe by 2024, everyone will have access to composting. So that press conference, for more details, that can be found on, I think it's the mayor or city hall's YouTube site. So if anyone wants to have a look at that. I think it also may be worth having a look as the end with the Q&A. He actually had a trash can that would be filled with compost. It was like a little Sesame Street type of avocado in the compost as he did the Q&A. So yeah, have a look at that. Mark, you're laughing too. You must have. All right, let's see. So this will now bring us to the draft resolution that was distributed, and the resolution is it's in support of the Manhattan Borough President's Million More Trees campaign. The Manhattan Borough President, along with the presidents of the other 4 boroughs, have the goal of planting 1 million more trees in the city by 2030. We know some of the benefits of trees, but there are a lot of benefits, but some of them are that they provide cooling, shading, energy efficiency, cleaner air, stormwater absorption and filtration. Just to name a couple. I support the resolution which was sent out, and I think that CB6 we should support this as well. But one thing I wanted to say, we don't necessarily have to vote on this this week or this month, because we do have a lot on the agenda, and I don't want to keep everyone here forever. So I think this is something that we could review a little bit more next month. And I also know because Mark informed me about issues with trees in Midtown that are damaged from cars or from scaffolding, and perhaps we could add, or we should add, language about that in the resolution. So, well, what do you think? We should probably look at this a bit closer next month. Is that okay? What do we think? All right, I see heads nodding. All right. And that is all for my agenda. So we will move on to the report from NYC Department of Parks and Recreation. Sheena, thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening. You can hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good evening, everyone. Welcome, Neil. Welcome.
Thank you.
We got, some funding to be able to do Augustus St. Gordon's over. So this Wednesday, next Wednesday, February the 15th, we have a meeting with the school, and everyone is welcome to join to give their input on how they would like to see the new renovations to the park. I posted all of the signs around the entire park to make the public aware, to come and join and give their input on February 15th. If some of the committees want to join, that would be definitely helpful to help us put this thing together. It's a great thing. It's been a long time coming. And we're glad to see it's coming, it's coming alive now. The work in progress is still in progress with Bellevue South, so it's working out good. It should be completed by the end of May of this year for Bellevue South. Tudor Grove should also be completed by May. And then we'll start Mary O'Connor. And that's about it I have. I can't hear you.
Okay, you can hear me now? Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, and Jesus, just to be sure, because I was looking at the format before, do we ask if the public have any questions for Sheena, or do we just go to chair's report? What's,
If the public has questions for Sheena, they can put it in the Q&A, as some people have already started doing. Or some of these are actually comments for the committee as well. In fact, there's one member of the public, Ms. Eliza DeVito, who has asked what the schedule is for St. Barton.
It's February 15th, and it's at 6:30 p.m.
St. Barton.
And this fly.
Not the St. Not St. Gaudens.
Oh, I thought you say. This. What do you mean the schedule for St. Barton's? You have to.
I'm just
is
reading.
Is this maybe for when I guess the playground there? When is that going to be updated? Is that maybe the question?
Is there some clarity on? Is she talking about the playground for St. Barton's?
Neil, if you'd like to give Ms. DeVito the floor, we can.
Yeah, that's fine. We could do that. Yes.
Ms. DeVito, can you clarify your question about St. Barton Park? Ms. DeVito, if you're saying anything, we can't hear you.
So we can circle back.
We'll come back.
Yeah, Anton has his hand up. Anton?
Hi, thanks. Perhaps a little bit something different. Park enforcement. It seems to me that we have in Sutton Place Park a grassy area that has been fenced off, and it says no pets allowed. And it's just not being enforced because people bring their dogs there. The dogs do their thing, and this is where children play. And is there a way to ensure or to try to ameliorate this issue?
Well, we don't have enough PEP officers to put on post at the park. So we have a lot of parks with this, with this issue with dogs, going on grass and doing their business, and the dog owners are not picking up. So we are really stretched in, with PEP officers. So they make their rounds at a lot of sites within the southern area. So they try their best to issue out, summonses to help, alleviate this problem. Hopefully we'll get some more funding to be able to increase our PEP officers, but at this time, they're actually working on a really short list of, officers.
All right. Well, this seems to happen early in the morning between 9:30 on a regular basis. And other people are using the park, Tai Chi, children running around, and, it does not create a sanitary environment.
Well, I'll send them an email and ask them to come around that time if they can make it at that time, because we also have, other parks that we trying to, at the same time, having the same issue. And it's usually only 2 officers that early that can be able to, come out and, issue summons. They do come to the park, they do come there because we've been having this issue for a while now. That's why I have the signs up on the fencing, to help, with this problem.
Yeah, and by the way, the other thing is that we find that a number of owners just don't clean up after their dogs on the walkway. And again, a lot of kids are playing, and doesn't create a very sanitary situation.
It doesn't. You're right about that. We just hope it's a tough situation to try to, catch every owner that's violating the rules of the park. I'll try to see if they're coming around that time. I'll try to see if I can get staff there around the time that they come to help alleviate some of the problems. With picking up the waste that they're leaving behind. But the PEP officers, I can't ensure that they can be there every day at that time.
Okay.
Thank you. I see that Lisa DeVito has her hand up, so perhaps she can be heard now.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Oh, yay. Sorry about that. And I don't know if this was mentioned before. I was obviously having some audio problems, but with regards to St. Barton, I'm wondering about the renovation work that was planned for the playground. It's been pushed back a bunch, and I'm just wondering what the timelines are now in terms of completion and all that.
So they haven't given us an update as of yet. Maybe sometime next year. We thought that was going to happen, last year, but things got pushed back, and they still haven't given us a definitive date. So hopefully by the next meeting, I can have a date for you. If they settled on the date for St. Barton's.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, Jesus, we have another hand up from the attendee. Let's see,
okay.
Ann Hirsch.
Hi, just quick.
Ms. Hirsch, if you're speaking, we cannot hear you.
I think we lost her. I think she dropped out. Oh, no, she's there.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay. I had put this into the Q&A. I thought that's where we were supposed to put questions. No?
Yes, we can, but you also had your hand
I mean,
up,
in other words,
so-
is the procedure to raise hands or to ask the question in the Q&A?
Sure. Yeah, you can ask the question in the
Either
Q&A.
one.
You could, yeah, you
All
can
right,
raise
well,
your hand. You can,
okay.
you can
Anyway.
ask now if you'd like.
All right, well, okay.
You have some
Shayna,
options.
Shayna,
Yeah,
for Dag
yes.
Park, do you expect the same level of mobile service to continue with your mobile crew to continue going forward?
Oh, yeah. We don't have a problem with the mobile service.
Oh, okay, all right.
I
always really want to know how much backup we're
No,
gonna get.
no, we still, no, the situation with, PEP is much different than our maintenance and operation. We getting, we got a few extra staff added to our St. Barton's district. So the same level of service should not be an issue unless something major happens. And I don't see that happening. I pray it doesn't. We just got the new staff. So yes. Oh,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Laura?
Yeah, this is a question for Sheena. The meeting next Wednesday about St. Gaudens Park, if people are not able to attend the meeting, is there an email that people can send in suggestions or comments? Or will you be having a second meeting?
There will be a second meeting. Usually it's a few meetings before we make our final decision on how we want it, it's going to go. We don't make a final decision. We try to get it in the first, so when they're going back and creating it, that we can include, a little bit of everybody's request. So usually the first one is like the draft, and then it goes back and forth, throughout the year. And then once we're ready to present it, we are presented to the community board. They'll look at it and then they can say yay or nay. We'll bring it into a forum like this evening, and the community have a chance to say yes, no, that, can we do this? Can we do that? So there's a couple of trials before we finalize it. Once it's finalized, then that becomes very difficult to change. But if you can't make it, you can send me your email and I can forward it over to our capital division for inclusion, and if that can happen. We only have so much money to do something, so we can't, you know, the basketball court, just to let you know, it's not included. We didn't have enough funds for the basketball court, so that's not included in it. It's just the playground area itself. And if you would like to send me an email with some suggestions before the February 15th, I will be happy to present it for you at the meeting.
Thank you.
Neil, just a few things, a few comments that were left by members of the public who are in attendance. Ms. Courtney Hirsch writes, I share Anton's concern about dogs in the park. It's a chronic issue in the new green lawn areas in St. Barton's and Robert Moses parks, especially in the hours right before or after a typical workday, around 8 to 10 a.m. and 5 to 7 p.m. Additionally, Ms. DeVito had made a remark about the resolution that will be considered now next month, I guess, that she asks CB6 support to ensure that the Parks Department replaces the 8 trees that were lost at Ralph Bunche per a Friends of Ralph Bunche's request last May.
Okay, yeah, that's yeah, that's noted. And I also know that I was going to go take a look at Ralph Bunche just to look at some of the trees there and about replacing trees and also possibly about adding trees, which would fit into the borough president's campaign for 1 million more trees.
Additionally, we have member of the public, Faye Crimper, who writes Stuyvesant Square Park. When will the hole in the West Fountain area be filled so that the plantings can be tended?
Well, we still have some more work to do. So it's not, you know, I can't give you an accurate date on when it will be done, but we have to fix the problem so the hole doesn't get recreated. So it's a daunting task there, but it's something that we're working on. I don't want to give you an exact time and then something else comes up. So we're working on it because we know there's an issue.
Okay. And let's see. So Jesus, I saw the one question about Stuyvesant Square. Yeah, with Stuyvesant Square Park, there's a comment that trees need to be replaced. And I would just say there, I want to go take a look and to see exactly where we could add trees there. I know I was going to speak with Mark and Claire as well, as they're very familiar with the park, and just to get a little bit of more background from them. And then I was going to go and take a look and also work with other members of the community. I'm happy to go down and take a look at the park.
Yeah, look at this text message, please.
Yeah, I was just about to answer you.
Okay.
All right. Is there any other? I'll see. Let's see.
Ms. DeVito invites everyone, I guess, to join volunteers at Ralph Bunche on Thursday the 16th at 10 a.m. Soret asks, are the fountains at Stuyvesant Park going to be functional working this year? Last year, no. East side.
we're working on that. I can't give you an answer on that. It's still, calls for a lot of work, and our commissioner is still looking into things to see how we can get it to function. So it's very costly, and but they're working on trying to see if they can get it done.
Right. And Elisa also says Stuyvesant Park gardeners are at Stuyvesant Mondays and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. I take it that's an invitation if anyone would like to join them.
Yes, Ms. DeVito clarifies any CB6 members who would like to come and see the trees at Ralph Bunch or any of the other parks. The invitation is open.
Okay. Is there
member of the public, Rupal Kakad? Is there anything we can do to have more of those take a book, leave a book at more parks? I assume they're referring to a little free library like the one that is at Stuyvesant Square Park that CB6 worked hard to procure and install there. Yes, Rupal is asking about how to get more of those.
Usually that's done by some of the community liaisons that they offer to purchase it. We don't install those because we don't purchase those. But if it's depending on the park, if it's purchased, we will install. We have it at St. Barton's Park as well. We have that at St. Barton. So I'm not against that. But some parks it doesn't work because it gets destroyed. I had them in other areas where we had to remove them because they were getting destroyed, and it was wasteful money to do so. But if you let me know which park you would like, I can review it, and if someone purchase it, we can install it.
Okay. Mark?
Yeah, just
Okay,
Sheena, as a side note, there's actually on each of the little free libraries, there's a number on there. There was a man who was from New Orleans who actually did the one in Sky Square Park and sent it to us as a gift. But there's a national organization that does this. So, a group can come together, purchase it, and then they can ship it to the group, and it can be installed in the park wherever your parks knows where to put them or not. You're good at that. So that's sort of the process if somebody's interested in doing that. It's not difficult. It just it's some money to put together, but it's not that much money. But then somebody has to sort of monitor it. I mean, down in Stuyvesant Square Park, a lot of us just take our books and put them in there. And sometimes guys come and steal them, or they get trashed or whatever, or it's empty. But if you have a good enough community or organization around, they can keep it full of books, and it works really, really well. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. So I have an update for St. Barton's. So as we are talking, I'm communicating with them late night. So the design work will be completed in March. Then we'll go to procurement phase for bidding process. If it gets accepted, construction will be likely begin next year early. Okay, that's for St. Barton's Park, the playground. It's just a playground, not the entire park, but the playground area. Okay.
Anne?
Yeah, this is kind of going back to Alyssa's comment about volunteering at Ralph Bunch. I didn't even know there kind of was a volunteer group and that was an opportunity. And so I'm wondering if Alyssa is interested in getting more volunteers to help out there, if maybe we could put that out in the CB6 newsletter. I certainly would like more information about, I can't come next Thursday, but in a general way, I'd love to know about that. It's like one of my closest parks. So Alyssa, I don't know if you're still here, but
Jesus, would that be something that we could share?
Yes, Ms. DeVito, if you could send to info@CBSIX. If you could send the information to us, we can put it in the newsletter. And send us the contact information for this particular Friends Up group or Conservancy group, and we can add it to our list of community parks groups. Because it's been about a year or so since we've updated that list. And if your group has taken hold anywhere around that time, it may not be on our list.
Okay.
thanks.
Jesus, I'm just going through some of the questions on this one. Sheena, with the work, I think you were just saying it was the playground, but just confirming, this would also exclude any work to the park house, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
The park house side is not a part of it, no.
Okay.
It's just the playground itself.
Okay. Let's see. I think so. Robert Sword, he has a question about the fountains at Dag Plaza.
DAG is supposed to get some capital work. It's still, at this moment, they don't have enough funding. The last we were talked about it to get this done. It's still in limbo. I would try to get some more information on it now, but we didn't have all of the funding to be able to do a lot of the things that need to get done at DAG. So that's still up in the air with that. The fountains are very important over there because we've heard it a lot, but we also have some pavement issues that's critical as well.
Okay. Thank you, Sheena. I don't see any other questions, Jesus.
No, just a few stray comments, but no more questions.
Okay, and I don't see anyone from the public with their hand up. So I think, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, Jesus, I don't know. Is Sheena now free to go? Or does she stay the whole?
If you need me, just let me know.
Neil, if you want to have that conversation with the park members, with the committee members about specific parks and concerns they have seen.
Oh, right,
yes. For her to
yes.
stay for that.
Yes, okay, I'm sorry. I should have, okay. Sorry about that. So with I don't see anything else, so we can move to the chair's report. As I stated earlier, I just wanted to know what members of the committee, what were you thinking about, I guess, topics or issues with parks in our district in general. I just thought we could chat for a minute or two about this. I don't see any hands, so maybe there are no comments. Okay. Well, we can discuss more about the parks as we go on. Old and new business. I don't have any. And so I think anything else, Jesus? Oh, sorry, Mara.
Yeah, sorry, this is just a question, and maybe Marty, you know most about this, but what's going on at Sky Cove with the construction, and what is the schedule outlook for that?
Well, I happen to know. The north side of the park is actually pretty much complete. Solar One has asked for it to remain closed while they do the plantings during the and it will be opening in a couple of months. The south side of the park, there's still plenty of construction to be done, but that construction should be finished in the winter, in the fall or winter. We're looking to possibly have our music series resume during the summer, June, July. Question is about electricity. The Solar One had a generator and different equipment in a locked box that was on the property, and that was broken into, and everything was stolen. When we had the last music concert series, which was 3 years ago, we were able to have several musicians who came in with their own generators. And so that might be what we'll be doing, or we might just buy a generator. But speaking of Stuyvesant Cove Park, we're actually looking to build up our board. We've, over the last few years, people have moved away or moved on. And if somebody, especially on this committee, would be interested in coming on, we meet 5 times a year, every other month. And it's an interesting group. And, the Stuyvesant Cove Park Association is a 501c3. We incorporated in 1996, I believe, and the park was opened in 2000. And we've been having the concert series. We had several other events series over the years, bird watching, different kinds of things. Solar One has taken over some of the activities that have been going on in the park. But if you're interested, we're glad to hear from you.
Yes, Reshma?
One of the things this committee had worked on was getting the St. Martin's Garden reopened to the public. And we had discussions on doing the same for Gramercy Park. And I don't know whatever happened with that. So I just wanted to bring that up as, it was an ongoing agenda item for this committee.
Let's see. All right, so we have some participants here. So we have RuPaul.
Hi, Martin. I just wanted to know, I live in Stuytown and I would be interested in participating in what you just mentioned with the Stuytown Cove. I just need to know how to get involved. I've been living in Stuytown since 2011 and I absolutely love this area. So yeah, I would be interested if there's any way for me to get involved.
Oh, I guess why don't you send an email to the board office and they'll pass it on to me and I'll contact you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We also have from the public, Kevin O'Keefe. Kevin, can you
hear me now?
Yes.
Hey,
how are you?
Good, Neil. Thanks for giving me the floor. Hi, everyone. Hi, Sheena.
Hello.
Just want you to know this week we had a need for a new gate at St. Martin Park, and within hours, less than 12 hours, Sheena and 2 engineering firms worked with the Conservancy, and we got that up. So it's wonderful to see things work so smoothly. Sheena, as I told you that day, you rock. On the question that Reshma posed, that's an advocacy that the Conservancy has taken on as we're starting to reach out and trying to start other conservancies. We have been in touch with the City Finance Office. We've been in touch with one elected official. That's an ongoing investigation, and I'd be happy to talk to you with it once we've wrapped, or I can connect with Neil to see offline to let you know where we are on that. And we have been involved directly. I've spoken directly with the head of the group that oversees that park.
Okay. Thanks, Kevin. And anything else you'd like to add?
Welcome aboard.
Okay, thank you. Anne?
Yeah, I think Kevin kind of already said it, but I was gonna say, I know somebody, and I actually think Jim Collins, like somebody did a deep dive into Gramercy Park and the kind of what the legal issues are around that. And it was like somebody on land use, I want to say, but I can't, I want to say it's Jim Collins. I don't know if anybody else that shares that committee can speak to that. But like, that's another one where like, seriously, do not reinvent the wheel on this because the knowledge is there somewhere.
It's about their property taxes and not paying property taxes.
Okay. Yeah, Gary Papish lived across the street from it, and he did a deep dive. In the deeding of the park area, it was deeded for it to be a closed park. When the person who owned the land gave it to the city, I don't see how that could be undone, but who knows?
Okay.
Maybe our city council member can pull some strings, but I don't think that that's really an open issue.
Okay, looks like we'll let Kevin chat one more time and then we can wrap up. I don't see any other hands. Kevin, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm just going to push back a little bit on, Marty. We've been researching this for over 3 years. This includes 3 solid weeks in Queens going through the deeds back to when the park started. They are giving keys out now to Gramercy Park. They're skipping buildings and giving them to certain buildings on Irving Place. Now, why are they skipping certain buildings? That's not in the original deed. It was supposed to be just the addresses around the park. That's just a bit on the surface. We've got a lot going on, and we don't want to say anything more publicly until we have everything tied down. But the Conservancy is going to fight like hell to get that park open, because you're right, they're not paying property taxes, and they're giving out keys in a ununiform fashion. I've talked to Lisa DeVito and others on here about this. It should be open to the public. I'll shut up.
Thank you, Kevin. Is there anything else? And if not,
They do open one day a year.
Right.
Not anymore.
Oh, really? Wow.
They used to do it on Christmas Eve for carols.
Yeah, right.
Not anymore.
Okay. Is there anyone else? Any other comments, questions? No? Motion to adjourn, can Do we have one?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, so I believe, Jesus, so the meeting will be ending at 8:20 PM.
So it would seem.
Congratulations on your first meeting.
Yay, Neil. Congrats.
All right, thank you.
And
Thanks
see
a
y'all
lot.
tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow. And I will be chairing, so be on your best.